Yeah, good morning, and it's another brand new week, and we really are happy to be with you again on the program Summit, coming to you live from our studio in Lagos. My name is Jumoke Michaels. Banji, good morning.
Jumoke, good morning. How was your weekend?
Fine, good to be here.
Jumoke, it's great to be here.
Yes.
And doing what you love to do most.
Yeah.
So I'm actually happy to be here.
Yeah.
Well, but let me just say before we actually go, it's just about maybe 32 days to Edo Dubai elections. And the two leading parties there are actually at each other's throat, accusations and counter accusations of fake ballot papers in circulation. So we just want to urge INEC to do the need to ensure that that election is actually free, fair, and credible, so that to actually put a mark, a stamp of credibility on even the institution itself. That's my plea this morning.
All right, to also remind Lagosians that we have been warned that there's going to be very heavy rains beginning from August ending to September, and we have been told that we need to prepare for that time. So whatever you need to do, clear your surroundings of your drainage systems and all that, so that you avoid flooding. So we need to prepare for that time. But today on the program, we'll be zeroing in on the University of Lagos. Yes, something happened in the last 1 or 2 weeks.
Yes.
The VC was sacked, and there's been diverse opinions. Views.
Not only sacked, a new VC, acting VC is already...
Acting VC was already appointed. All right. So, well, that's what we'll be looking at this morning. So we have 2 segments on the program. First of all, we have someone who is an in-house person.
Insider.
He used to be an insider, so he knows the system. He has had his own experiences in that system, and so we're going to be listening to him this morning. And then on the second segment, we have an attorney at law, a barrister, who is going to let us see the legal aspect of this matter, where things stand legally and constitutionally. All right, so joining us in the first segment, we have Emmanuel Afolabi. Is the ex-General Secretary of the University of Lagos Student Union. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you this morning.
Yeah, it's a
It's
pleasure.
a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much.
I must not actually disclose to the viewers how short the notice of your being here. Thank you very much.
I understand.
For actually acceding to our request. Professor Oluwatoyin Ogundipe is actually in the eye of the storm as we speak. Last week, the airwaves was hit with the news of his sack by the governing council led by Dr. Wale Babalaki. To start with, that's your VC. Was it the VC when you were in school? Or he was the deputy VC?
Vice Chancellor.
Deputy Vice Chancellor.
Academic management at that time.
So what was your reaction to that news that your VC of your alma mater has been removed? Were you actually, what was your reaction?
Well, immediately that letter of his removal was circulated, and then I saw it. I was like, oh wow, so it has gotten to this. But I wasn't particularly surprised, and then I wasn't. I feel sorry for him, really, because it is really injustice. You know, it's not. The SAC did not go through the normal process that it was supposed to go through. Ordinarily, if there's this kind of issue, and then there's an accusation or an allegation against the Vice Chancellor, the Vice Chancellor was supposed to be notified based on the University of Lagos Act. Okay, you notify the Vice Chancellor of the allegations against him, and then allow him defend himself. And then after that, you take the matter before a panel of both the council and the Senate. Okay, it is after that the recommendation of whether it should be sacked or not should be taken or should be considered. Okay, but in this case, that is not what happened. Okay, there has been before now. There has been several, back and forth, accusations and all of that, this same issue was what led to the postponement of the University of Lagos convocation, which was supposed to hold in February this year. It was postponed because of this same issue. Okay, there was a time that the council announced the suspension of a lot of principal officers in the Senate, the vice chancellor, inclusive some deputy vice chancellors and all of that, on this same matter. Okay, so apparently the chairman of the governing council, who is Dr. Wale Babalakin, apparently he felt that maybe the Senate would not would back the vice chancellor, because of course the vice chancellor is the chairman of the Senate. Okay, so he has a strong hold on that Senate. Okay, so apparently the council chairman does not have faith in the Senate doing justice to the matter. That's the way I see it.
That's why he went to Abuja.
That's another issue, because this same matter is what led to the ASU chapter in Unilag declaring the council chairman persona non grata on the campus. Although I believe that shouldn't have, that shouldn't hold any water, because why would ASU declare the chairman of council of the university persona non grata? ASU members are members of staff just like any other person, So, but then I don't know, maybe to avoid physical altercation or whatever, because of the intention for the meeting, because of course that kind of a thing would not have happened inside the campus without fracas or some sort, So I guess that was why they had to take the meeting to the NUC secretariat in Abuja. That was where the meeting held. Okay, and then as I was saying, so this whole thing has been going on for months. Okay, back and forth, and then I feel that yes, it is injustice to the vice chancellor, but this injustice that we are talking about has been in the system for long. I wrote an article on this same issue a few days ago, and I stated how someone like me was victimized on this same campus by this same vice chancellor that is crying foul now, so to say. Because as an executive of the union then, we had a protest. Okay, the union declared a protest based on some, issues that were affecting the students on campus at the time. Shortage of water supply, shortage of power supply. At that time, it was so bad that students would have to, buy sachet water, put it in a bucket and use it to have their bath. There was no light on campus to cook. So we were going through all of that at that time, and that led to a protest for 3 days between April 6th and April 8th. And that protest led to the shutdown of the university for a few weeks at that time. Now, the outcome of that protest was that the management, apparently because they felt that we were challenging them and all of that, they suspended us. They suspended our union first. They suspended the executive members. The accusation against me back then was that I declared a protest without approval. Who seeks an approval to protest? I have a right to protest. So, to me, that was an injustice to me. We did everything we could do. We ran to the media, we ran to court. They had friends everywhere. They used everything against us. Wherever we go to, we go right, we meet them there. We go left, we meet them there. This same system, this same management. So when I saw this, and then I looked at the whole issue, the process and all of that, I know that this is not supposed to be based on the University Act. Okay? But if we do not address the real issue, this will continue to be happening. Now, this issue is not about even Professor Ogundipe. Because as I said in the article that I wrote, if a system or when a system thrives on injustice, everybody will get a plate of whatever is served, however it is served.
At one time or the other.
However it is served, everyone gets a plate. And this is very unfortunate for him. And I feel very sorry for him, because you can imagine a whole vice chancellor of the University of Lagos. Vice chancellors are the almighty.
Revered.
And revered.
When it comes to the university system, Imagine a whole vice chancellor of Unilab carrying placard to protest injustice against himself, not outside of the country, in this same institution, where you are like the number one officer. Now you are carrying placard. That is to tell you that this matter has gone too deep. It has gone beyond what is happening today. It has been in the system for a long time.
All right, but do you know if this matter was actually taken to court? Because from what you said, it's been an ongoing issue. Was there any time, do you know, that they took this case to court?
Well, Professor Ogundipe has said that he's going to, challenge it in court.
Okay,
he has written his lawyer, Mr. Michael Zekome, SAN. And then, hopefully they will institute a legal, case against the council very soon. But even at that, I believe that, well, he is likely to win anyway because of the process.
I'm not even asking for court now. I'm asking for those who have
past.
been
Okay,
here.
You must
Yeah.
understand that this is Professor Ogundipe is the latest victim
Yes.
of such treatment.
Yeah.
Yes.
There have been others in the past,
Yes.
about 5 or 6.
Let me give-
Is that not always becoming
Yes,
enough?
let me
sort
give
of?
my experience as an example. Yeah, when all of that happened in 2016, we went to court. Okay, remember we were students. We did not have as much resources as they have. We did not have the kind of network that they have. Okay, we did not have money. A lot of us were living on pocket money. So, as bad as we felt that time, we approached the court because we believed that we had a case, and we had a case. So when we went to court, University of Lagos management brought 2 senior advocates against us to challenge them, to challenge us. Now, on our side, we could not even afford a lawyer. We eventually got a lawyer to defend us, but with the way our legal system is being operated, of course it's difficult for just any lawyer to come from somewhere and then win against 2 senior advocates. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. So eventually that case was thrown out on technical grounds. What is technical grounds? What does it mean?
Okay.
They did not say we did not have a case. They said it was thrown out on technical grounds. That is to tell you that a lot of things must have gone under that's not open to us. Okay. What is technical grounds?
The Student Union Council of the current Student Union Council is actually saying that the current crisis on the campus is not about the welfare of the students. That the 2 parties, the council and the VC on the other hand, are actually clashed because of maybe the kind of power tussle or maybe an argument over who controls the loot of the university. That is not about the welfare of the students. I mean, from the benefit of the hindsight as a former student, do you actually subscribe to that position?
Well, that is just an opinion, I must say. But it is not impossible that is the case. Because if we look at this whole thing, the chairman of council is alleging that in all of the things that the vice chancellor has done, that he did not carry the council along, which is not supposed to be anyway. So in that case, we can say that it is possible that maybe there are some money that is supposed to be getting into the council pocket that is not getting there. I mean, what could part of the allegation was that the vice chancellor spent 49 million renovating his building. That he gave the bossa 41 million to renovate his building. 41 million for renovation. 41 million that can actually build another house from scratch is used for renovation. Now he gave the former registrar 16 million. All of this money
For another renovation.
And all of these are without the council approval. So, with that, perhaps
That maybe about 67 million naira on COVID-19 palliatives.
No, not COVID-19.
No.
Innovation.
No, apart from all that you have listed,
Okay.
in addition to,
Okay, in addition. Okay, all
another
right.
allegation was that he
Yeah.
spent about 67 million naira on COVID-19 palliatives.
Yeah, and then
Beyond that, he spent about 40-something million naira on waste management. So many, I mean, the list was.
And then we heard the part of it was also that they were giving 2.5 million naira to the office of the DSA monthly. You know, so it is possible that that is the same way some other offices have been sharing the money. And then the council, perhaps nothing is going to the council. So it is possible. We can argue it that way as well.
Maybe the council felt excluded in the.
Excluded in the whole thing. So in that, I would agree with that submission. You know, but then again, it still goes down. I mean, it's, remember in that article that I wrote, I'm sure you read that article.
I did.
I tried as much as possible not to join issues or not to take part or not to be one-sided.
You said you felt sorry for the
I
VC.
felt sorry for him. So I tried as much as possible not to support either of the sides. Okay, I was as much objective as possible. You know, because like I said, this thing is beyond what is happening now. If this is not carefully and properly managed, it will lead to a lot of bigger issues. Now, I'm even surprised now that some stakeholders in the university are running to the president as the visitor of the university anyway, are running to the president or the minister of education to come and, you know, intervene. I'm very surprised, especially coming from ASU. Because it is this same ASU UNILAG chapter that would start shouting university
Autonomy.
has autonomy, that they are autonomous, that they can decide their affairs. So does that mean in this case the university cannot decide its own
They
affairs?
just want someone to mediate.
Because it has getting to a point where it's getting out of hand for even the people that have been masterminding all these injustices, you know, from many years.
Now,
All right,
okay, go ahead, please.
All right, so but let's look at the person of Professor Ogundipe himself. As regards his what he has done for the students, and then let's talk about his
Antecedents.
As an administrator.
As an administrator of the school.
All right.
Could you tell us a bit about that?
Well, of course, when he assumed office as the vice chancellor of the university, before that he was the director of academic planning. He was the deputy vice chancellor in charge of academic management, and then he rose to become the VC, the vice chancellor. Now, since he became the vice chancellor, to some extent, he has been trying. Okay, I mean, there are some, I think, grants and all of that, you know, that has been. But then again, that has not come without some shortcomings. You know, shortcomings like awarding of contracts, and then, you know, that contract ending up being a sham. One of which is the UNILAG library that collapsed. The library even collapsed. It's part of the report that the council is using to indict him now. That library collapsed, and he's part of those. Is one of those who, you know, whose names are being mentioned in that contract. So all of these things, you know, you cannot hear. I mean, maybe because because he's human, you know, there will always be, you know, the bad side and then the good sides. But then, my own personal experience of him, you know,
You have told us.
No, I didn't even mention this when I said it earlier. That time that we had a protest, and then it led to our suspension and all of that. We had a meeting with the alumni team, you know, led by the president at the time, Olorogun Dr. Sonny Kuku. He was the president of the alumni at the time. During that meeting, you know, they called that meeting between the student union executive and then the management at that time, so that they can, you know, settle the issue and all of that. They had served us suspension letters at this period that I'm talking about. Now, during that meeting, Professor Ogundipe alleged that some students threw stuff at him when we were protesting. which definitely is not true because I was there and I saw everything that happened. You know, one student had splashed water on Professor Akin Oyebode while he was addressing us at the third day of the protest. You know, not even Professor Ogundipe. And we chided the students, we, you know, calmed them down and all of that, that this is not what we're supposed to be doing. You know, we're here to, you know, settle all of these things and all of that. You know, only for us to get to the meeting. And then Professor Ogundipe was saying that some students were throwing stuff at him. I was like, what is this? Of course, at that time at the meeting, because we were sitting with a lot of elderly people, we couldn't bring ourselves to say, sir, you are lying. So we just kept quiet, and then, you know, the meeting just ended the way it ended. You know, and then since that time, you know, I see him going to, you know, different halls of residence, playing, you know, football and all of that with the students and all of that. All of those things will make students like him. Yeah. But it does not stop the fact that he can do, or he does some things that are anti-students.
For instance, the fees, students actually, the current student is actually seeing several fees. There was a hike in the student fees and all that, but it did not translate to the greater welfare of the students. Do you have any insight into that?
Well, I believe that before the management would increase any fee, you know, it will probably come from a deliberation of maybe either the Senate and Council and all of that, you know. So this particular fee increment, I do not particularly know which one in specific.
The hostel accommodation, for instance, that the students' hostel accommodation was actually hiked, that it was increased, and some other fees on campus too.
I don't think that is true. I'm not aware of that.
Okay.
Because the student hostel fee has been 25,500, I think, and it has remained so, even as at the time that I was there. So maybe.
But can you also contest the fact that the welfare was not at the best, or has never been at the best on campus?
The welfare of students has never been at the best. It has never been at the best, and it is one of those things that we were fighting for. But of course, anytime they see us, you know, raising our voice and then, you know, bringing up issues, they do everything to silence us. You know, so in fact, some people in the system that are not happy with the way things are going, they are afraid to talk because of the things that are likely to come out of them talking out.
All right, as a way forward, what do you envisage?
Well,
what's your recommendation for stable
resolution? Yeah.
I think it's good that an acting vice chancellor has taken over. You know,
Professor Soyombo,
Professor Theophilus Soyombo. Although the Senate is claiming that, you know, they do not recognize him and all of that, but I do not think that will stand anyway, because I mean the council has the power to appoint an acting vice chancellor for a period of, you know, maximum of 6 months. You know, so he can serve.
And before you go there, sorry, Jumoke, a member of the council, I mean, 4 actually voted against, while 6 voted in support of the removal. Yes. One of them, that's Bola, is the Senate rep in the council, yes. has also come out and said strongly that the procedure was faulty.
Of course, yes. The procedure for the voting,
for the removal.
For the removal, of course, this is the same thing that we've been saying, that the due process was not followed. I mentioned earlier that, you know, it was supposed to be served his allegation, allowed to respond, then brought before a committee of the Senate and the Council. All of that did not happen. Okay. Although there was a panel that was set up, headed by I think Mr. Dagari or something.
Yeah,
Dagari.
Again, he said they removed. VC said he would prefer to be probed by professor of public sector accounting rather than the chemistry lecturer.
That's laughable, because he cannot determine who probes him. Okay. I mean, he cannot determine who probes him.
So right, you were talking about the final solutions.
Yes. So I believe that for all of this to end, the president himself will need to, you know, intervene. You know, and then I strongly recommend that even the council should be dissolved and reconstituted, because it's obvious that that council is divided. you know. So the council should be reconstituted, and even the Senate. I think that the powers given to the Senate of universities are too much. That is why you can see the council announcing something and then the Senate saying, no, they won't recognize it. I mean, that autonomy that they keep holding on to is beginning to look somehow.
Being abused, so to speak.
Like, yeah, so like more like abused, you know. So I think, you know, the council should be reconstituted. You know, another chairman should come, and then the Senate too. I mean, the vice chancellor has been removed now, so I do not think he's likely coming back. The vice chancellor?
No, you said it earlier on that he's likely to win.
He's likely to win, he's likely to win because he has a case. Not that, I mean, if you look at this issue now.
Let's
have it. This is phase one. We certainly need to bring it back.
All right, thank you, Emmanuel Afolabi. He's he's the ex-general secretary of the University of Lagos Student Union. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and experience.
Yeah, it's been such a delight. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. All right, so we still have the second segment of this program. We look at the legal aspect of these issues. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Yes, sir.
All right, you're welcome back. It's still Summit. All right, we have joining us this morning Mr. Jide Ologun. He's an attorney at law and a public affairs analyst. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, sir.
Now, I mean, this one is strictly about law, the procedure, process, and all that. Now, the VC, the former VC of UNILAG, Professor Oluwatoyin Okidipe, has been removed in circumstances that a lot of people have actually raised voices against. What's your opinion about the procedure?
I think the main issue here, particularly from the removed Vice Chancellor, is that due process was not followed. And if you look at Section 36 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, it provides for fair hearing. And that is his claim now. But like the Speaker earlier reviewed to us, how are things done in Nigeria? And we still have the fresh case of Ibrahim Magu, who till we speak now has not even been taken for prosecution but has been removed from office. So how the respect we have for due process is a different ballgame. But the laws are there. And in respect of the VC, there's supposed to be a committee set up, you know, and having representation between the council and the Senate to look at the allegations, and then recommendations should be made. And there are claims now that that has not been done. And you see the council also flexing muscle, even though they could not meet, the members could not meet in UNILAG. They met in Abuja to say he has been removed. And if you check the website of UNILAG right now, the name of the acting vice chancellor is there. So even if the removed vice chancellor goes to court, for how long is it going to be in court? Which is another matter entirely. So I think for us, it's just our mindset and our, you know, our position on not allowing due process, because the impact is even worse, because the main issues on ground are not being attended to. The welfare of the students, they have alleged misappropriation, 49 million, 41 million, 16 million. We hardly come back to these issues. I made reference to the case of Magu. We've heard how recovered money got misappropriated, houses sold. We will never go back. We may never go back to this. After removing him from office, what happens? Nigerians are the ones losing. And for Unilag, I'm also calling on the alumni now. Unilag has come a long way, established 2 years after the political independence of Nigeria. So I think the house should be in order, but then I think it's part of the politicking. But if there are allegations of corruption, I throw it back to the governance system we have. If you look at section 15, subsection 5 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, it says that the state shall abolish corruption and abuse of office. So if we have that strong stand on fighting corruption, whether it's an institution, wherever it may be, we must fight corruption. If not, corruption will continue, and it will be a matter of the level of influence you have to manipulate the processes, because like I said, I'm disturbed that we make these allegations and we never prosecute them, because under the same section 36 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, the accused person is presumed to be innocent until the case is proved beyond all reasonable doubt, and it is the responsibility of the state to prove the case beyond all reasonable doubt. The burden of proof is on the state. And so when you don't have prosecution, as we speak now, we've read about a former governor that went to EFCC himself, returned money to EFCC, and is still a big commander in his party. He has not been prosecuted. You cannot claim that he's a criminal. He can still contest for the presidency of this nation. And we have many of these cases.
Okay, that also brings me to the fact that the chairman governing council, Dr. Wale Babalaki, has also alleged that the removed vice chairman is a serial offender. I mean, making reference to maybe a case of forgery in the past. That's a prelude to all of this. I mean, I'd like to find out, was he right to actually pronounce him a serial offender?
Yeah, my revered colleague, whom I respect so much, I believe if he's listening to us now, that's beyond the allegation. The question I will ask is that who convicted him of those crimes? Of those alleged criminal offenses?
No, that was why I asked Afolabi that had there been issues of court cases?
The criminal justice value chain is established. You must have thorough investigation, diligent prosecution, and a committed judiciary that will either convict or set you off the hook. Right now, you cannot come out to say a man like Evans, with the celebrated revelations of his kidnapping activities, is a criminal. You cannot. The matter is in court. If that case is in court for 70 years, the man will still be claiming innocence under our laws. So it's not just enough to, in this country, a former governor escaped all the long arms of the law. But in the UK, he was jailed for 13 years. He may be a criminal in the UK, but he's not a criminal in Nigeria. He's a big political wig. We must get our actions right. It's painful to me. You can see what is going on between the National Assembly and NDDC. Billions of naira that should have gone into the development of a region. And they are fainting during fact-finding. When such characters should be prosecuted in courts of competent jurisdiction. And set them free if they are not found guilty, or jail them to serve as deterrent. And that is why the crime rate in Nigeria is growing, because when elements like this realize that we don't have a vibrant legal system, it strengthens their adrenaline.
All right, let me just read this message. This is from Sam Bolaji. He says, as Afolabi Emmanuel has rightly said, if the tyranny of injustice is not dealt with holistically, this scenario will remain a vicious cycle. That's what he said.
We always intervene in matters like this. Sentiments actually is always the order of the day. The chairman of the governing council said the removed VC would have actually been prosecuted then when the case of forgery was leveled against him. But the Alumni Association actually intervened. Now, in this case too, the Council of Vice Chancellors, the Committee of Vice Chancellors have actually also waded into this matter, saying that the removal was also. What's your...
It's because of the weak legal system we have. apparently, like I mentioned, when Chief Ibori's case was going on in the UK, all right, some Nigerians left this country, went to the court to prevail on the court on sentiments that he built an Olympic-sized stadium in Delta State. And the court told them it was not the business of the court to evaluate his performance in office, but to jail him for specific crime. So when we turn into family affairs, I mean, how do you reconcile 49 million, 41 million? It pains us what students are going through in this country. For renovation. But why should I be surprised if we are spending, is it 230 billion naira, sir, to renovate the National Assembly building? So we have problems in this country. And so if we are grooming injustice, it becomes a threat to everyone. And someday anybody can wake up. Look at the way the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria left office. And the position is that if he left office, if the offenses were strong enough to make you remove him from office, the same offenses should be strong enough for him to be prosecuted.
Well, there's no such thing being.
Exactly.
So that's exactly the picture you're painting of this Professor Ogundipe's case.
So
now,
beyond the removal of the VC,
nobody constitutionally, even the president of this country, is not above the law. He may be enjoying immunity while in office, but the moment he's out of office, he can be prosecuted for crimes. Go and study South Korea, and as long as we don't give strength and vigor to our laws, people will ride on the face of sharp knife and cross to the other side. It pains me what we read, like we keep saying, in 2 months' time now, you are not talking again about NDDC. Akpabio is now probably promoted to go and occupy one place. We were here, sir, talking about the 774,000 palliative jobs. We are reading about it now that governors and big ones are sharing the jobs to their relations. So where is the place of the masses in this? Separate things. We are now trying to disturb our brains with the Kaduna killings. When it is on record, sir, and permit me to digress to that point, just talking about system now. While it is on record, in December 2016, where Governor El-Rufai said that they have gone tracing the Fulanis who were killing as a way of revenge, that they come from Chad, Mali, Cameroon. The Fulanis are in about 14 countries in Africa. They bring their cattle to Nigeria seeking for green pasture, and that in the process of this, some of them were attacked, and today they are laying claim to possessing that Southern Kaduna belongs to them. And when Chief Olusegun Obasanjo said that there's an attempt to Fulanize Nigeria, some people said the man should keep quiet. When General Theophilus Danjuma retired, said there may be an ethnic cleansing going on. They said they did a probe, nothing came out of it. And now we are confronted with the realities. And if you go and read that, we call it content analysis. It was further revealed then that they come with their cattle from the northeast to northwest to middle belt to the south. And for those who love Nigeria and love a secure future than a mortgage future, should go and learn now. Trace the streams and rivers in Nigeria and see the activities going on there. And I must say that I pity southern politicians who may be going through slumber now. By the time you wake up, you'll be shocked. So these are issues. So we need to go back as a nation to strengthening our law system.
Okay.
To ensure that we have laid rules and procedures for how we want to operate. I've asked this question, by the way, which is also systemic. Why should these people, all these allegations of money, have access to this money? Let's even assume that it's true that the VC had used 46 million naira to renovate his house. Let's assume it is true. How did he do that? Did he do it alone? Who are those who connived with him? When Abacha was moving Nigerian money away, did he move the money alone? So we need a strong system that will put us in place. And that brings us back to what Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore told Chief Olusegun Obasanjo when the man was amazed about how he transformed a third world country to a first world country. He said, Lee, what did you do? And Lee told him, we decided to do the right thing, and we will continue to do the right thing. And that is why Singapore today is one of the best places
to live and to work in Nigeria. My big question to Nigerians, if our country continues like this for another 20 years, how will this nation be?
All right, our topic this morning is actually a question. We said the sack of Lagos Unilag Vice Chancellor, morals or politics? Could you help us address that? Is it moral issue or politics?
You cannot divorce politics from human relationships. Right from the Bible everywhere, I can speak for the Bible. There will always be politics. Solomon did not just ascend the throne. There must be that power play. But the question we should be asking is that, is it in the interest of education? No. Is it in the interest of the students? No. Is it in the interest of personal benefits? Perhaps yes. So that makes it political. Let's talk about the moral aspect. I have said it, section 15, subsection 5 of Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended says that the government shall abolish corruption and abuse of office. So it is immoral to abuse office for any purpose. That is why we have rising level of crime. I hope we know now that about 90% of the revenue of Nigeria that we don't have is used in servicing the interest on the loans we have collected. And where have we spent these loans at? Nigeria indebtedness was about 12.6 trillion naira in March 2015. It's almost 30 trillion naira now. What have we done with it? Is it now that we have the best aviation business in the world, or that our refineries are working and we have several more refineries? I've said it, the United States of America has about over 100 functional refineries. And today, the pump price of petroleum, PMS, was 87 naira 50 kobo in 2015. Today it is 150 naira or 148 naira. Where are we going? Dollar was, I think, around 190 naira in 2015. Today, dollar is 470 naira. I mean, value added tax. What was the percentage? Let's even say in 2018, 5%. Today is 7.5. We are talking of stamp duties. You know, so we have issues. I will not be one of the Nigerians who are pretending. And it all boils down to our crying for resourceful leadership. We have the resources. God has blessed us. Nigeria is about, I think, the 9th deposit of gas in the world and the largest deposit of propane gas in Africa. What else are we looking? Recently, I was reading a report that says that we have the capacity to generate $1 billion from gas, and we are going to do that. The same $1 billion that was withdrawn from the excess crude account in 2018 to fight the Boko Haram. And rather than decimate the Boko Haram is being promoted. Now Islamic State of West Africa.
Thank you very much.
So we have problems.
As we go now, the campus as we speak, the students, the lecturers, the management staff, everybody, the house is a house divided against itself. It doesn't make for proper study, academic environment. What do you prefer as a solution to this crisis?
I will call on the alumni to step in, by the way, and also on the government that regulate the institutions to step in and allow the right thing to be done. I will not subscribe to sentiments. If some people have been, if some people are called people, go ahead, prosecute them.
No, Ogundipe is in court already. So
there are many cases in court. I'm a lawyer, so I don't even want us to talk about that. You'll be shocked that some cases got to court in 2007 and they are still adjourned till now. So it's not about going to court, it's about getting justice. But having said that, it's not an impossible thing. A young man was caught in Abeokuta for being a fake lawyer, and within a month he's been jailed. So our judicial processes can also be fast, but then you cannot eliminate the power of influence. Like somebody said, there's a difference between judgment and justice, and we need justice in Nigeria. The moment we begin to establish and promote justice, then we find ourselves back on the track of prosperity.
Man.
Well,
You okay? We have our hands full.
Yeah.
But it's just the beginning. I believe events are still unfolding, but we sincerely need to thank you for your time, sir.
God bless Nigeria.
Yeah, I'm sure the Southern Kaduna issue to be revisited in the near future. Thank you very much for your time, sir. My name is Banji Busari. Thanks for being part of today's edition of the program. See you again on Wednesday. Bye-bye.
I am Jumoke Michaels. We'll see you again. Have a wonderful day.